What's up, guys? Welcome to Tuesday Night Hype Wednesday edition. I'm Hamboy, that's Racy, and we're here to bring you the top four. First up, we have Snail versus AirTraX. Snail, you might remember from Hearthstone Championship fame. And then AirTraX, I believe, is a professional Korean player. Do you know anything more about the players, Ray? You a fan of Snail?
Yeah. So Snail, he went pretty deep in the Americas qualifiers. He got, I believe, top 8 or top 4. And do you remember which one it was, Handboy? Was it top 8 or top 4?
I think top 8. I think he won one game in the group stages and then ended up losing. So top 6 if you want to be fancy.
I remember he beat Nostum in the losers bracket. Or was it the winners bracket? I don't remember, but he beat Nostum to get in. And AirTraX, he actually knocked me out of Tuesday Night Hype to get into the top 8, I believe, and then ended up beating his top 8 opponent and getting to top 4. And AirTraX is actually playing a very interesting Dragon Druid deck, which I hope he is still playing right now. And it looks like they're into their game 1, so let's hop in and see what's up. It's going to be Warrior versus Warlock for the first game.
Those are actually the banned classes, I think, so I assume they're just testing something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so... AirTraX has Druid, Warlock, Paladin, Warrior. His Warrior is banned, and then Snail has Mage, Paladin, Shaman, Warlock. I believe his Warlock is banned, yeah. So I've actually played against Snail twice in Opens in the past week or so, and he just brings like 4 aggressive decks and just runs at your face and hope it works out. At least that's been my experience playing against him. So it'll be interesting to see if these decks just kind of run over and punish like slower, more fun decks like Dragon Druid.
I'm not quite sure what's going on here. It looks like they're just holding their mulligans. They might just be doing pregame stuff, like figuring out all the bans and stuff. It looks like they're playing. Are you sure these were the bans?
100%.
Okay, well, I am extremely confused then as to what they're doing. But if this is what is going on, then okay, yeah, this is not a game.
Yeah,
because Snail life tapped.
Yeah, they're just they're just getting it set up for the stream. So the stream can't even see this actually. So you're just adding to the confusion, I think, at this point. Yeah,
right.
So now they're just ready to get into it. We did see that Snail's ban class looked to be like a more aggressive Warlock, so that goes in with my line of thinking that he's just gonna go to the face a lot with his Paladin, Shaman, Mage. I think he plays Tempo Mage, not Freeze, which is kind of weird because I think Freeze is like the more preferred Mage deck at the moment. It's what I see more of in tournaments and on ladder, I think.
Yeah, but Tempo seems to fit his style more, especially if you said he's a more aggressive player. If he's more comfortable with Tempo Mage, it seems to fit in, especially in like I know he's not even from EU, he's from South America, but in the EU scene, we saw a lot of Tempo Mage do well. So we know the deck has the potential to be performing at a high level. So if you're comfortable with it and you can play it well, it can definitely perform well for you. And if Snail is good with it, then I think it's definitely a viable option to bring to tournaments.
Yeah, it also has that good matchup against Druid, and basically everybody brings Druid to tournaments. Yeah, we see AirTraX with it. We actually don't see Snail with his Druid, though.
Yeah, not bringing Druid is actually really different. We don't see that very often.
No, I remember I was watching Nostum playing Open yesterday, and it was the Tuesday Night Hype, and he actually went out 0-3 or 3-2. His Druid lost all 3 games. So his thought process is that occasionally Druid just draws so bad that you just never win, and you just constantly have to play unfavored matchups. Like if you look at the other decks people bring, they all target Druid. So maybe bringing Druid and just getting targeted isn't the ideal strategy, I guess.
Yeah, but targeting Druid is also like kind of unrealistic in a lot of scenarios, because if somebody just has a crazy opening where they have Wild Growth and Innervate, almost nothing is going to beat that if they have the right hand. Almost no deck can overcome something like double Innervate Emperor early game on the perfect hand.
Yeah, the number of times I played a turn 2 Emperor or like a turn 3 Boom, and my opponents just conceded immediately without even attempting to play the game out. Like, regardless of how much of a counter to Druid you are, there's not much you can do to deal with a 7 drop on turn 2.
Exactly. So countering Druid as your whole strategy seems a bit risky, since Druid, like I said, can just get the insane opening hands that are just non-interactive, that are just so impossible to ever beat no matter what you're trying to do.
Yeah, my general strategy as of late has to bring decks that are decent against Druid, but then have better matchups against the other more popular tournament decks. Things like Secret Paladin and Zoo you see a lot. So I feel like targeting those is maybe a slightly more successful strategy, although a lot of people are just fans of bringing the 4 strongest decks and winning that way. I know when you won like 3 or 4 tournaments in a row last season, I believe you said you just played like the 3 or 4 strongest decks depending on the format and just won games with those.
Yeah, that's what I am typically a fan of, is to bring like the 4 strongest decks in the metagame and just do that. Or I'll bring like my 4 personal strongest decks. Or at least in Conquest in last year's standing gates. But ooh, AirTraX is coming in strong with the aggressive Secret Paladin. I didn't exactly see his whole deck. To me, it looked like he was playing Egg Paladin when I played him, but he's just full on like aggro Egg Paladin. When I played him, at least he had eggs in it as well. So
yeah, this doesn't look like. Did you see secrets when you played him? Because this. To me, this looks more like the aggro variant that wouldn't have secrets. Something we saw Bunny Hopper play at EU Championships.
I don't remember him playing a Mysterious Challenger or seeing secrets, no, but I do remember seeing Nerubian Egg, and it looks like Snail is opening up with his Tempo Mage, and he has a pretty strong hand, especially for facing an aggro deck. I guess he doesn't know that yet, but he assumes it's some type of Secret Paladin-esque deck.
Yeah, and regardless of which Paladin deck you are, like the early turns play out pretty similarly. Like regardless, like every Paladin deck is playing Minibot on 2 and Muster on 3 if they have the choice.
We see.
So we even see him keep like Arcane Missiles in the mulligan just to have a way to deal with their flood of early 1/1s you often see from the Paladin deck. Although he's probably going to regret it now, having picked up 2. He doesn't really have much to do here besides the Scientist, which I guess he's just pointing out.
Yeah, well, this hand from AirTraX is very weak, honestly. Like, if he doesn't pick up a 2-drop here, he's just kind of in an awkward position. If he ends up playing the Abusive and trades with the Scientist, Snail can just ping, honestly. And
yeah, and he's just going to Hero Power on 2 instead.
And that, like, that's fine, but that still feels really bad. Like,
Snail doesn't have great draws either. He picks up a Duplicate off the top, which I don't know how many secrets he's running. I think we saw Mirror Entity on the mulligan, but you definitely don't want to draw secrets at all.
No, but I don't even think he needs to do anything here besides ping. The question is, what do you ping, though? Do you want to ping off the Divine Shield so you take away the option of potential buffs and then just go face, or do you want to ping off the Divine Shield and then clear off a minion and then let him be able to trade into your Scientist?
I think you're probably going face here because I don't think Snail ever anticipates the Abusive Sergeant, right? He's probably anticipating Muster next turn, especially given the turn 2 pass. So he'll probably just ping off the shield, go face, and accept that a 1/1 will trade in, and then the Scientist will die. I don't really see any reason to trade here from Snail.
Yep. And he decides to ping off the shield, which I think is definitely the correct play. And we see the top deck Blessing of Might, so that was pinging off of the shield definitely pays off here for Snail. And the question for AirTraX is, does he actually even want to play that Blessing of Might? That's super awkward. Like, anything he does here just feels really awkward. Like, Hero Power, which is so weird because we see that Snail just has Arcane Missiles just at the ready. And Like,
He'll
that's
probably just fire it off here, right?
I would imagine so, yes. I imagine we're going to see something along the lines of Arcane Missiles ping or Sorcerer's Apprentice missiles. And maybe if they... Oh my gosh, they all hit. Now that is horrible for AirTraX. If even one of them had missed, Snail would have been put in a situation where he might have had to use a second removal to play around something like Keeper of Uldaman or Defender of Argus, because as Snail, you're thinking that AirTraX has something like Uldaman or Argus, because he's been doing basically nothing for a while. And wow, we see a naked Defender of Argus on turn 4. And, I mean, that plays around Mirror Entity to some degree, but that's just so weak. It's kind of just disgustingly horrible.
Yeah, that's always a good sign when you see your opponent just drop a naked Defender of Argus. You usually feel pretty confident about the game. And Consecrate in the hand of AirTraX isn't really going to help deal with this board at all.
I don't think anything you can do at this point is going to help. I don't think any top deck besides maybe you hold the Knife Juggler there and you top deck Muster, and then you set up for a Consecrate board in a future turn. Maybe that helps, but I don't see anything else besides that helping. Like,
Flame Waker off the top as well. This is looking pretty brutal for AirTraX. He did not get... he's hero powered 3 times.
Yeah.
This game. Yeah. It's pretty hard to win when you do that, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him just concede here. I don't think he's ever recovering this unless he's got an equality in there somewhere.
Which, I mean, the deck seems kind of wacky. I wouldn't even, like... that wouldn't even surprise me. But that wasn't the case. He did not draw the equality that may or may not even be in his deck. And Snail just kind of steamrolls over AirTraX in game 1. And we got to see... That was an interesting deck, at least, from AirTraX. Even though it just kind of got steamrolled. But that seemed like pretty unfortunate luck. His deck seemed very aggressive, and he just kind of got the short end of the stick.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good matchup to begin with, because they have things like Arcane Missiles and all that to clear off your board, and then when you follow that up with just an absolutely dreadful draw, it's pretty impossible to ever find a win there. But that's why we play best of 5s. He gets to run that deck out 2 more times if he wants, and hopefully he'll see at least a slightly better draw in one of these next 2 games.
Yeah, I don't think it's... Oops, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I don't think it's actually as bad as normal Secret Paladin, because he plays things like the Nerubian Egg and more sticky minions, so like things like Flamewaker Coin Missiles and stuff like that isn't as effective on more sticky boards that deck could have. He just kind of drew 3 4 drops in his opening end and did do nothing, but either way, we're going to go into game 2. Snail's going to queue up Aggro Shaman, and AirTraX is going to queue up the same Aggro Paladin. From what we saw, there were no secrets. It still doesn't look like there's going to be any secrets in this deck. And this is the start that I expected to see from him last game. This is
much better. You have an abundance of choices. You have the Abusive to buff up an Egg or a Creeper to trade better. Basically everything you want, I think. But Snail's hand looks pretty good too. He has the Trog into Totem Golem Dream if he wants to go that route.
Yeah, this start from AirTraX is more reminiscent of what I saw from him when I was playing against him. This is the start that definitely rolled over my Zoo deck when I played against him, for sure. This is a start that's good against other aggressive decks, but looks like Snail's start is also quite impressive. But AirTraX definitely going to be able to hold his own here.
Yeah, he's going to snag board control, I think, here. He's still going to struggle for the next 2 or 3 turns to deal with that Totem Golem until he can get that Blessing of Kings down. But I don't think Snail's ever going to get any more minions to stick on the board. Like, his play here is what, just like Leper Gnome? You can play the Lava Shock as well if you want, but...
We could see Lava Shock the 2-1 play Leper Gnome to try to prevent AirTraX from ever clearing the Totem Golem. But you kind of want to save the Lava Shock for the next turn when you, like, Knowledge and then Lava Shock to clear up for your turn 5 Doomhammer that you potentially could draw. So it's hard to say. Maybe even Rockbiter down the abusive right now, and just protect your board. It's hard to say.
Just leave it, and I think we're just going to see his entire board disappear here.
Yeah, so he's going to trade in his whole board.
He has gotten in 7 damage from those early minions. I don't know if that's going to be quite enough. He really just needs... If Snail can find Doomhammer, then this is a winnable game, but I don't think he can really get there without a Doomhammer, the way it looks right now.
Well, AirTraX has no pressure, so... I think this is a winnable game either way, because Snail has a lot of time. Like, we're going to see a blessing here, but... Snail has quite a few turns to draw that Doomhammer.
Yeah, that is true. I guess 4 damage a turn is not going to kill you very quickly at all. And AirTrax's hand doesn't actually look like it applies that much pressure in the coming turns either. Consecrate and Creeper, relatively low pressure cards, and Boom's pretty unplayable for a while.
And AirTraX is also going to be dealing with things like the Totem Golem, so the 4 damage a turn isn't even going face, it's going into the creatures.
And wow, just another very sad hero power from AirTraX here. One other thing to note is that I would assume AirTraX is playing Divine Favors in his deck, which if he ever draws in this matchup are going to be basically a dead card. I don't really see Snail's hand ever getting that big.
I wonder why you play that now. That's very... He wants the hero power Consecrate next turn, perhaps?
I guess.
If
you
Snail
make it kind of worth it for your opponent to clear that minion now, though.
Yeah, that's really... Like, that's definitely the right target to put it on, but that's just, like, weird to preemptively Blessing of Might a creature when it doesn't seem like the mana is going to be that important. But maybe it is.
Like, pretty likely he floats mana next turn, isn't it?
I've no idea. This could be some incredible foresight from AirTraX.
I mean, I guess if he top decks Emperor, he wants to be able to play it, but I don't think this deck's running any 6-drops.
No, but he does play Divine Favor, though. He does, about that Divine Favor discussion you had earlier. He does play it. If Snail ever rolls a Spell Power Totem, do you ever think he just unleashes, like, Lava Shock and Crackle on the face?
I think so. You don't expect this deck to run healing, so I think you can just throw things to the dome whenever you can kind of fit him in mana-wise. I'm surprised he uses it here.
Yeah, that seems weird.
Right, so
I guess that might... The next level plays from AirTraX lets him squeeze in a hero power. And if that matters, if that one hero power ends up getting... Like, it's going to do at least, like... I'm predicting that this hero power is going to do at least 2 damage before the game's over. And if that 2 damage matters, AirTraX is a god.
So those are the next level plays. Snail picking up pretty poor cards off the top here, though. Argent Horse Rider, pretty useless here. You can make
killing off the egg.
Killing
off the egg prevents 1 damage, which is... I mean, maybe it'll be relevant. Let's do the math. 7, 8. It prevents it, puts it down to 12. Not really relevant. He's still on a 2-turn clock.
He's gonna clear all this stuff off, and then I guess he just sends the Horse Rider face, but I mean, he's gonna die to a 1.
How do you win? Is the question. Is there any line where you win the game by doing this?
I don't even, like, what would you have to top deck here? Because you're dead over 2 turns, like, guaranteed. What do you have to top deck here to kill him from 13? Even, like, Ancestral Knowledge double Crackle wouldn't do it, because he already used 1 Crackle. Yeah,
I don't think there's anything you can top deck, but...
Yeah, Feral Spirit's definitely not it.
Yeah, I'm just really sad that 1/1 ended up not mattering. That T damage was completely irrelevant. He overkilled him by a whole lot there in the end. But either way, AirTraX ends up taking game 2 with his aggro egg paladin against Snail aggro shaman. And what do you think Snail is going to queue next? Do you think he's going to queue his aggro shaman again?
I think so. I think you just kind of run aggro shaman out there. till it just draws well and you kill him on turn 6.
And then AirTraX might queue his Dragon Druid against that, or he could queue. I don't know what kind of Warlock he was playing. I'm pretty sure I banned his Warlock, so I have no idea what kind of Warlock he's playing. But I would imagine it's something exciting.
Yeah, I wonder if he's playing like Malygos Warlock or something. If he's into the dragon things, that could be a possibility. If he is, that's a pretty bad matchup, I think, against the Shaman.
Wonder how Dragon Druid is. That's probably not good either.
No.
I can't. He played multiple Ancient of Wars, if I remember correctly. So maybe Snail won't get enough early damage, and we'll see some taunt action being able to get through.
We do see the Twilight Guardian.
Ooh, I think this whole hand has to be a keep. And if you get there with the Dragon Synergy, this is pretty crazy.
Oh, there it is.
Oh my god.
All right, good draw.
So this is how AirTraX does it with Dragon Druid. Am I gonna play this to top 100 on ladder now? Is this what I'm gonna do?
Start queuing it up. It's got to be good.
Dude, this is it's gonna win Tuesday Night Hype. Is this what I have to do now? Embrace the Dragon Druid?
It's a new meta. You're gonna see it on the Tempo Storm meta snapshot in like 2 weeks. Dragon Druid top deck in the meta. All the power of Force of Nature Savageor and the power of dragons. Like, what else could you want?
I mean, it depends. If Snail can crackle this Twilight Guardian for 6, let's see. Does Snail have the power?
Well, he did crackle for last game for 3, so I think now he gets a 6. If that's how.
Is that how the law of averages works?
That's how it works. I think that's how it works. Even
Alright,
if he
we'll
rolls
find
3
out.
here, he can just abusive if he wants to deal with this.
Yeah, it's dying. It's definitely dying this turn. That's for sure. But it's a matter of whether this tunnel trog. Oh my god! Oh my god, that's absolutely crazy. All right, well, I guess I overestimated the power of this Dragon Druid deck. Aggro Shaman is clearly just the best, and that was that. Oh my god, that was insane.
That's a fun way to go out there. How do you feel about playing Aspirin there over Wild Growth? Because it looks like now he's probably gonna have to skip his turn 4, unless Snail just goes up straight to the dome. In which case,
I feel like Snail probably should trade here to prevent stuff like Druid of the Claw. But if you trade here, you're really weak to swipe. Well, you're weak to swipe no matter what. But like, so if you don't trade, you get the 3 damage, and he ends up trading, and then he swipes.
yeah.
So I feel like both plays are justifiable, and if you go face, I actually like this play, because if he doesn't have swipe, like, what's the worst he's gonna do is probably play like a Druid of the Claw in taunt form, which I guess that's pretty awkward, but it's
You just draw another crackle and roll 6, and you're good.
yeah, exactly. He believes in himself. He has faith in himself. Something a lot of people don't have. He believes in his abilities as a Hearthstone pro player to roll crackle for 6, and sometimes you just have to have that. He also believes in his ability to hit the face, and he's very good at that.
He is not looking in any other direction than directly to the face at this point. And AirTraX looks like he's in a lot of trouble.
I'm not even saying that jokingly. Like, I actually think that's correct. Like,
what, just going upstairs here?
Yeah, like, I think that's actually fine.
Yeah,
especially
like
when you draw the Doom Hammer.
I mean, AirTraX is gonna have to trade here, like, every turn, and you have Doomhammer in hand, so you have so much damage as it is. Like, he has probably like 4 or 5 turns to find 12 damage. Chillmaw, I guess, is gonna prevent a little bit of that, and then AirTraX does have the Ancient Allure to follow it up, so he's not completely out of this.
No, Chillmaw is very, very awkward for Snail to deal with, because he has to take 12 damage to deal with it. Some of the time. It depends what happens here. But
Yeah, I think Ancestral Knowledge and look for some sort of spell-related answer, another Crackle or maybe a Silence. He does find the Crackle. Oh, and the Earthshock.
Oh,
Wow.
wow. Wait. He
I don't think
is...
that's lethal this turn.
No. It's not lethal this turn. He's one off. He's one off. So you silence the Chilma. You... Do you Lightning Bolt face this turn? Wait, what happened?
So, because if he plays Lotheb, you just kill him with your Doomhammer, right?
Did he already make the play? I think I'm like...
Yeah, he's ending the game. He's finishing it up right now with the Lightning Bolt Crackle over face. It looks like Snail's going to take game 3 unless this Crackle rolls for negative damage, which it did not.
Well, I got kicked out of the spectate mode, but yeah, that was definitely a clutch top deck from Snail. But that game was pretty inevitable. I think he was going to win almost no matter what he did there, as long as he top decked some type of burn.
Yeah, as long as he wasn't pulling Haunted Creepers or something off the top, he was probably fine.
Yeah, and I definitely like that. I definitely like that very aggressive line of play there from Snail, noticing that swipe kind of screws him either way, and going to the face, like your opponent's going to trade if he has swipe either way, and you want to just get the 3 damage in and not do the trading for them.
Yeah, and I don't think we saw Snail trade once that entire game. And it worked out pretty well. AirTraX is queuing up what looks to be like Reno combo lock. We saw a faceless earlier, so probably some version of that. But it's hard to tell with these Reno decks because there are obviously so many different cards. He does have an okay early hand. He doesn't have minions to set the tempo, but things like Demon Wrath and Hellfire are probably going to be really good.
Ooh, Mind Control tech could be very useful later on in the game at some point. But here we're just going to see a Demon Wrath clear out a Knife Juggler and a Secret Keeper. I definitely don't think that was preemptive by any means. I like that.
Yeah, and it would have gotten really punished if he didn't go for that play here with the Secret coming off the top. He would have had to coin Hellfire.
Yep, and we might just see the Mind Control tech come out here, which feels very awkward because you kind of want to hold it. But at the same time, you want to develop the minion. You want to hold the Swamp Oops for like way later on in the game for the Tyrian weapon or for a True Silver champion. I feel like the Acidic Swamp Ooze is more valuable than the Mind Control tech.
Because yeah, a lot of times the MC tech is you just take a 1/1 and it's not actually super impactful.
Yeah, because the Mind Control tech usually only gets value when they play Muster for battle, which means you're most likely taking a 1/1, like you said. And the Acidic Swamp Ooze is... You're not going to play it when they play Muster, obviously. You're going to wait for that Tyrian weapon. You're going to wait for that True Silver champion. So you're going to take something valuable away from them. And hopefully AirTraX doesn't implosion this Shredder first, and he actually hits... Oh, okay. He's implosioning.
Secret Keeper. And he rolled 2. Wow.
Ooh, that is rough.
Not what you want to do there.
Luckily, the redemption on the Secret Keeper is not a huge deal for AirTraX.
No, but it can be like, what, a 6/6 here?
Yeah, but oh man, seeing Implosion for 2 just...
I'm not gonna miss that card when it gets rotated out at all. It's one of the cards I will not be sad to see leave. Because the difference between like 2 and 4 there was just like ridiculous.
Yeah, it's definitely the difference between winning or losing a game. If you roll 4 there, I think the game's just over. If you roll 2 there, the game,
you got a lot of work to do now from AirTraX's spot, and his hand isn't that great either. Like next turn, he really has nothing to do. You almost kind of hope that your opponent just lays down a True Silver or something here, so you can play your Swamp Ooze or something with a tap. But I mean, maybe he'll just be forced into Hellfire next turn.
So you just go to the Dome here for 10. And then, what do you do as AirTraX? You can clear the board here. You can hit in and Hellfire if you want to. And then hope that the Secret... I mean, the Secret can't be Redemption, so Avenge won't proc.
Yeah, you just test Noble Sack with a 1/1.
Yeah, of course, of course. If he attacks with a 3/1 first, I'll be very surprised. So you test Noble Sack with a 1/1, and then you just trade Hellfire.
And he has the Chow to kind of play out after to contest whatever comes out of the Shredder.
Yep, you go other 1/1 to the face first, hopefully. No, this is so he's not doing that. Maybe he facelesses the 6/6.
Yeah,
It seems like weird though. So now you're not. So now he's letting Competitive Spirit go off, and he's
just gonna get value traded, I think. I mean,
well,
he can Hellfire next turn, I guess, to clear it off. But oh wow.
Oh wow. Okay, so I still think Snail's gonna go to the dome. To be perfectly honest, I think Snail is probably gonna be consistent with his play and go to the dome unless this Coghammer Divine Shield hits the 7/7. If the Divine Shield hits the 7/7, I think he'll trade. If it hits the 2/3, I think we're gonna see like everything go to the face.
Yeah, that would have made sense to me. It hit the 2/2, so you can even punch the 1/1 here just so he doesn't have an easy way to deal with the Divine Shield, and then just go face with the 7/7.
Yeah, which I really like a lot. I really hope he goes to the face here, which he does. Yep, stays consistent with his line of play. Now we don't like Shadow Flame can't even clear now, so you have no good outs as AirTraX here. You play. He has a Belcher, so he can do that. Everything is just kind of horribly awkward for AirTraX.
Yeah, you slow him down, but you're not looking like clearing this board anytime soon. I guess next turn you can just Shadow Flame.
Yeah, no, now you can. Snail drew probably the worst card. Oh god, the voice crack. Probably the worst card that he could have drawn there. So AirTraX definitely caught a break there. And he's going to be able to Shadow Flame. And if he wants to, he can play Acidic Swamp Ooze, but that's going to be kind of awkward.
You can also actually attack in here as well if he wants. Oh wow, now you can Owl Shadow Flame and preserve your 7/5 if you want. I think owling into right before turn 8 when he's been sitting on a card for about 4 turns is super scary, but it's an option if you want to go that route.
Yeah. I mean, you know, he's been sitting on that card for a while. You assume it's either Tyrion or something like Divine Favor, but he would have played Divine Favor last turn, so you know it's not that.
Yeah, I think it's either Tyrion or Rag, you assume. He's gonna
yeah.
Here.
I don't know, playing that owl was very sketchy. Because you know that last card has to be something important that he's been holding on to for quite a while. And now you have no good way to deal with this Tyrion. I mean, if you do Twisting Nether here, that seems pretty horrible. I mean, you have an out because you have the Ooze, but I think Boom just seems infinitely better because you get a board and then you can just deal with the Tyrion next turn.
Yeah, this is super scary though. You're just dead to so many things, but I don't think you really gave yourself an option with the lines you've taken at this point.
Yeah. Had he saved the owl though, how much better of a position would he be in? Because he wouldn't have a 7/3.
No, he'd be able to owl the 6/6, but it would still be a 6/6.
Yeah, he would be in a position where he would have probably played Swamp Ooze last turn, so he'd have 2 more health, and that would probably be it. He'd just have the 6/6. He'd have Boom in it, Silent 6/6, and then he'd have the Swamp Ooze maybe.
He wouldn't have even been able to play Boom because he wouldn't have had enough mana there.
Yeah, so it's hard to say.
Yeah,
either way, though.
This is a scary spot for Snail here, because if you go face and he Renos, you lose a huge amount of value in the trading with the Tyrion Divine Shield, but I think you kind of have to go face.
Oh, 100%. No, you 100% go face. He hasn't represented him, he does not have Reno. As Snail, you know he doesn't have Reno. Otherwise, he would have done it. And you have the Tyrion weapon, so your opponent can't kill, you just don't put him on having a Swamp Ooze at this point. Ooh. I don't think you can.
Healbot, pretty good. Pretty good pickup there. That is gonna.
Oh man, these boombots could do work. I mean, what the boombots do and don't do. Why did Snail not play the Noble Sack is also interesting to me. Because
I don't
that could be very relevant.
know. Yeah.
Like,
No, I'm not really sure either. I was trying to think of something, but I don't really know what you're holding it for. It sucks that like it just gets eaten by a boom bot, I guess, but
maybe just like, I don't know. Holding the card is kind of irrelevant too. But
maybe
do you have
if
redemption left? No, you don't have redemption left, right?
the
You already
one
played that.
Avenge came out. I think he has another Avenge in the deck as well.
Yeah. Well, that was a good top deck from Snail either way. But we see that AirTraX has the answer for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if he needs to Nether here, depending on what he draws. I think it depends on where the Avenge goes to, but he might be able to deal with this board. Wow, both Boombots going phase. Oh wow.
This is a bit interesting. You can Hellfire and then BGH, guaranteed. He knows what the secrets are. So, is it risky? You go to 5. Nothing can kill you from 5, right?
You go to 6, right?
Or 6, sorry.
Yeah,
sorry,
but nothing
my
can
bad.
kill you from 5 or 6, I don't think.
Yeah.
He elects to
No.
just attack him instead.
I mean,
Oh,
it's the same thing. If the Avenge goes on a 1/1, it gets cleared by Hellfire, so it's the same thing.
yeah. Yeah, and
It's
this
actually
way-
right to it. It's right to attack first, because then your boom gets to go face first. 7. So you attack first, you Hellfire, you BGH, you go face for 7, and
Do you
then
even need to BGH? Do you even need to Hellfire here? Can you just trade the 3/2 into the taunt, BGH, and just go face for 7?
I guess you don't need to Hellfire here. Actually,
Oh wow. Pick him
yeah,
up.
you don't even need to Hellfire. It actually doesn't make sense to, at this point.
I think you can
Since
even
the,
Dark Bomb off this 1/1 just to prevent Blessing.
Yeah, the Avenge landed like really well for him. If the Avenge had landed on a, he could have just traded at that point, I guess, because he traded favorably. Yeah, you don't even need to Hellfire there.
I think if this... Oh, it picked off a 3/1, but I think if it didn't, he was just dead on board. Very close
11,
to it. He's
14,
actually 1
yeah.
damage off lethal now with the
Yeah.
Hellfire.
You can
But-
still tap as AirTraX. There's nothing that can kill you.
Yeah, and I think he... Oh, okay, Reno's about as good as lethal damage here, I think.
Yeah, you just kill the Juggler, kill the one. It doesn't matter at this point. The game's effectively over.
Goes to
Snail
the
probably
dome.
realizes that. And AirTraX takes the lead, goes up 2-1, picks up a win against Snail's Secret
I
Paladin.
think it's 2-2 now, right?
Oh, is it?
Snail got a win with his first deck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And you got to win with the Shaman, so it's 2-2. AirTrax is able to pick up his win with Reno against Secret Paladin in what was actually a very close game for quite a while there until he started to pull away with it. And that's usually what Reno does. Once they start to stabilize against aggro decks, they just kind of run away with the game. Once
Yeah, I
they're
mean,
able to...
we just saw AirTrax with like 4 or 5 options every turn, and Snail with just playing whatever came off the top, which was a secret, like a lot of the time.
I feel like this is how most of AirTrax's series come down to, is whether or not he's able to find a win with the Dragon Druid.
Well, he's gonna try here. He has Innervate, which is a good
Start.
good way to pick up that win, I guess. But
Never tell.
he doesn't really have anything to play with it. I guess he can play the Aspirin here. Swipe is a good card to have in general, although I don't know when it's gonna be playable.
Yeah, if Snail picks up if he had picked up a second secret, that would have been pretty nutty.
Yeah, instead he might be tempted to coin Muster, which we can see will get punished really hard. Instead, yeah, he's just gonna look to Noble Sack.
Yep, and push some face damage for sure.
Yeah, and then this sets up the trade next turn with your Muster either hitting a 1 health Aspirant or you trade in the Secret Keeper and then hit it with the Muster.
The question is, does AirTrax want to swipe that Secret Keeper?
I don't think so. I definitely don't think you want to swipe going into turn 3.
Yeah, that seems really awkward. He decides to play the Mind Control tech. Definitely like that here, even though it's like super awkward because like you expect him to muster and then like you have a option to mind control tech, but you also have swipe, so it's like kind of awkward. But swipe's just definitely superior.
Yeah, I think you'd rather have that 3-3 and him have nothing on board than have to deal with like a 2-3 and 2 1-1s with just a 3-3 and a 1-1. And now next turn you can just play boom. So
yeah, this is actually looking really good for AirTraX. And unfortunately, we're not even seeing the dragon synergy, which kind of makes me sad.
No, Dragon Druid isn't going to get to show off its full potential here. I wonder if Snail can make a next level read and just coin Lothab here to prevent the innervate play.
Yeah, if Snail coin Lothab's here, that's actually going to be very, very strong. Whoa. I wonder why he didn't knife juggler shield the mini bot.
No, I think you're fine with it dying to the 3-3 on board.
Yeah, but you have like Divine Favor in your hand. I feel like you just want to push out your sheer cards in your hand.
Yeah, now he's going to be
Nefarian. Nefarian.
That's
Interesting.
a card. You can
That
put
is
that
a card. You can put that in your deck. These are all true statements. And it's a dragon.
Wow.
And that's dragon synergy, Hamboy.
Oh wow.
That is, we're seeing the dragon synergy at work right now.
Is Nefarian ever going to come down this game? Probably not. But
yes, it's here. It's giving him moral support right now, cheering on Dr. Boom. I can hear it. I can hear it now. This is the reason why AirTraX has got that innervate boom. It's all because of the Nefarian. It's the only reason.
Alright, well, we get to see one of the more fun things in Hearthstone. We're going to see AirTraX try to disassemble a mysterious challenger turn here. The Living Roots is going to help quite a bit.
Alright, here we go.
Okay, so it's just like it's not quite enough.
Awkward.
He's got 2 4 health minions to deal with.
Yeah, that's super awkward. But I mean, Snail doesn't really have a good way to deal with the boom either. That's a consecrate. That's a good way to deal with boom. So I guess you play Knife Juggler and Consecrate and then go to the Dome.
Yeah, I guess start hitting him for 7. You still don't feel like you're in a great spot, but if you can just even be like even on the board, or right now he looks even slightly ahead, I would say, and just play boom, you can probably win the game off that. Yeah,
we're probably just gonna see Sylvanas come down here, and then we're a trade into the Knife Juggler, and then
Sylvanas is just removal for the 7/5 here, essentially, I think.
Yeah, I think there's no way you don't play Sylvanas here. There's no way you don't, because it forces Snail to trade.
Yeah, and playing Lore is just asking to take another 7 to the Dome, and I really don't think you want to do that.
Well, it also gives Snail... Yeah, it also gives Snail initiative, like, just push face and play... Like, you just can't recover from that. There's no way. Like, at least if you do it this... Like, if you play Sylvanas, it gives you a chance to top deck BGH and have a chance to play out the game. Oh, gosh. No! No! He's healing! He's healing!
For health.
That's so interesting. Now, he has a chance. No, he healed, so he has... I don't... Like, he's going face, right? But he's not dead now. So he's not dead. Because he trades. And you get to play Sylvanas.
Yeah, I think you play Sylvanas, Hero Power, Boombot, and then trade.
Yep. And then you have a chance. You have a chance. You're not dead. The Boombot... If the Boombots go face, you're dead. I think Snail's gonna take it, like... Snail's probably gonna hit a Boombot in too. If the Boombot doesn't go face, I think Snail will probably hit a Boombot in as well. On his turn. That was
it hits face, but it only hits for 1, so...
So I think Snail's gonna take a 50-50 here. Like, he's gonna hit face with the boom, and then he's gonna hit... Do you do that, though? I think you hit face with boom, and then hit the Boombot in and take the 50-50, probably. Like, playing Lothab first seems right, too. Yeah.
I like Lothab Muster to devalue the Sylvanas. If you Lothab, it makes it really hard for him to swipe. as well. I guess he can still play it for 9 mana, but and then putting him to 3 health with a Boombot on board is like super scary. So I think you just have to try to take the 7/7 here, right?
Yeah.
You can like hero power off a 1/1, I guess, if you want, and then just try to take the 7/7 and play the taunt, and that's how you win.
Yeah, this play is a lot safer. Yeah, the line that Snail took was infinitely safer. So if you take the 7/7, do you actually live?
It's not super unlikely. Can you get it?
No. And now you are dead on board, right?
Yeah, you're just dead. Just pretty dead. Extra dead now with that owl.
That is an owl, and that will be a silence on the Drake, and that is a dead AirTraX. The Dragon Druid could not pull through for him this time, and Snail takes the series 3-2. Did Dragon Druid lose all of the games for him?
I think it lost 2 of the 3. I think he lost one with his aggressive Paladin where he just drew like double Argus and like.
Oh, that's right. That was game 1, I believe.
Yeah.
He just he hero powered like something like 3 times or yeah. So GG's to Snail. Looks like AirTraX went offline, and Snail ends up taking the series. Congratulations to him. We'll see him later in the finals, Tuesday Night Hype. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think we will be back very shortly. Our second semifinal will be the Deer Reader versus Kaiken, 2 players I don't really know much about. I'm sure we'll learn in about 5 minutes if you stay tuned for semifinal number 2.